Gang. Sometime man as well as not on back there reaction. I ain't gonna hold you. I missed the last JxmyHighRoller. History repeats itself. I'm not sure what this gonna be talking about. It's been a lot of guys going crazy. Can't you know what I'm saying? Too much camera rolls and can't go say too much
NBA
else.
history, quite like Nikola
Jokic,
a big man that can give you a quiet 30 a night, passes the ball like he's got eyes on the back of his head, and can dominate games without getting more than 6 inches off the ground. What about Steph? There's been countless great shooters throughout the league's history, but what about a shooter who can come off of screens and hit shots from 30 feet out while being chased down like a criminal? I've always wondered if players like these are truly.
Listen, I don't know what's going on, so
the blueprint for these players was laid out years ago. But today, I found my answer. While doing some research, I found this website called Crafted NBA. It has some of the most advanced NBA data available today, and with this data, they have created some interesting algorithms and predictive models. One of them being their historical similarity app. Within their database is every single season by every single player who played at least 500 minutes in the NBA since 1978.
Dang, even got the brown shirts.
Choose any player, and the site will give you a complete scouting report with a bunch of stuff. Shot quality, free throw rate, offensive load, portability, a crafted offensive and defensive plus minus, and every other convoluted metric you can possibly conjure up. It gives every player a value for each metric based on their performance and then rates them based on where they rank compared to other players across the league. For example, Nikola Jokic is about as good as it gets when it comes to shooting efficiency, playmaking, and offensive versatility. Now, here's the catch. This algorithm takes all of these ratings and percentiles and compares them to their entire database to find the most similar player throughout NBA history. And guess what? There was a player like Nikola Jokic in the NBA years before he came into the league.
Damn,
and his name was Larry Bird. But I didn't just run Jokic through this similarity app.
I could see that. I ain't even gonna hold you. I could see that.
I ran it for Luka and Giannis
I could see that.
and Steph and LeBron and Durant and a lot of other players.
So we got people matching? I'm at C.
To find the most similar players of the past to our biggest stars of the present. And some of their comparisons.
My boy 12, man. Yes, sir. Your sponsor is Lord.
Rebound.
Damn.
But is he a one of one? We've seen these attributes and skills in many other greats of the past. Crafty, versatile, oversized perimeter players.
Nah, Luka been making some. Bro, Luka, man, sheesh.
But what do the numbers say?
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Crafted NBA's similarity app has the answer. And according to over a dozen
man, I don't know
advanced
if I got a better chance of the lotto or Luka just making a throwing the ball up, man. Like
that lay out the very specific and unique facets of Luka's game and production. He is actually most similar to a young Tracy McGrady with a similarity score of 85%. Specifically, a young McGrady in 2004. Although Luka is a better passer, McGrady shot more threes relative to the league at the time. These two have striking similarities with their shot quality and offensive creation. Luka is a better rebounder, but defensively they fall within the same exact percentile of sub-average. With an offensive game that more than makes up for it.
I'm gonna go with Grady over Luka defensively, bro.
Luka were 2005 Kobe Bryant, 2000 Grant Hill, and 2005 Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby. That's an OG.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has cemented himself as an all-time talent over the last half-decade. But similar to Luka, we've seen this player before. In today's league, it's difficult to find an appropriate comparison as physically imposing and athletic bigs have seemed to become a thing of the past. So that's where we'll go to find the most similar player. And I'm sure you can guess who it is. According to the similarity app, the most similar player to Giannis is 2006 Kevin Garnett with a similarity score of...
Similarity, it's of course not going to be exactly
85%.
You know, yeah, okay.
A phenomenal post scorer who also led the league in rebounding.
Well, y'all know who the better player is. I'm sorry. KG like that though.
At the time, and was one of the league's most versatile defenders with his length and athleticism. In fact, Giannis and Prime KG aren't just similar; they are almost identical with offensive and defensive metrics that are almost impossible to tell apart. KG was a better shooter and rebounder, but every other metric is virtually the same, from their efficiency to their offensive versatility to their passing. The next
low key, you know, I want to see a one-on-one though.
1993 David Robinson, 1993 Karl Malone, and 2002 Tim Duncan. Next, I wanted to take a look at a player who might
I think they might put
one of one. Steph Curry
wait.
has taken a skill set that was crafted and polished by sharpshooters that came before him.
Nah,
and
Curry changed the game.
it.
I can't even
But
see.
who before him was the closest thing to what we see from Curry today? Any guesses? Here's a hint. It's the other greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah, Reggie Miller.
If you said
Oh, Ray Allen. Fuck.
you'd
Wrong
be
guy.
correct.
My bad.
But not this Ray
Wrong
Allen
guy.
or this Ray Allen, but this one. 2001,
Milwaukee?
young, flying around the court, pull up off the dribble, Ray Allen. With the highest similarity score yet of 88%. Curry and a young Ray Allen expectedly share most things in common.
Wow.
Their all-time great shooting efficiency and shot quality, their offensive portability, and their perfectly average defense. Curry is a better playmaker and is capable of carrying a heavier offense.
Free throw rate, receive three. See, all these, like, I want to read them, but it's like, I'm kind of learning, so I'm probably not going to read all this shit, to be real with you, but.
Of load, but their
Damn.
uncanny similarities as shooters and shot creators, and even defenders, makes them the most similar players to one another. Interestingly enough, the next most similar player to Curry is offensive juggernaut 2007 Gilbert Arenas, followed by 1998 Danabera.
Gilbert Arenas? Nah, Gilbert Arenas, I remember he dropped 60. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think he dropped 60, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, I don't even know who that is. I ain't gonna hold you. Chauncey Billups. I mean, I'm not gonna argue the metrics, but
Next, I took a look at a player with the size and skills that we often see in all-time
I'm trying to see who they get.
The
12.
versatile wing, that is Jayson Tatum. Similar
For.
to his contemporaries of the past, Tatum can do just about everything on the court at an elite level. He can score on all three levels. He can run an offense.
I heard
Has
Tatum
great
been doing this
defensive
shit. I
instincts,
just
has
ain't really
the
been
size
watching
and
Boston like that.
athleticism to turn most defenders into a mismatch. And when I think of these traits, there's a lot of players that come to mind. But according to
Danny
the
Granger?
similarity
That's an
app,
OG.
the
A lot of y'all don't know who
closest
that
thing
is.
to Jayson Tatum is 2010 Kevin Durant with a similarity score of 83%.
This might be the most similar one. I can actually definitely see this. For real.
Looking at a
offensive rebound, I'm reading. You know
young
what I'm
KD's
saying?
metrics is almost like looking at some 2K creation with maxed out stats. Offensively, he
Creation.
didn't have a weakness.
It's damn
And
near
his
the same.
defensive metrics suggest he was fairly underrated on that side of the ball. And although not quite as staggering, Tatum's metrics paint a similar picture. A great shooter who can get
it's
to
damn
the
near
line
the same,
at
bro.
will and can carry
This is one of
a
the
team
most,
with
like,
his versatility
you
and
know,
ability to create offense.
I
The
can
next
definitely
most
see
similar
this.
players to Tatum are 2007 Rashard Lewis, a young 2004 Tracy McGrady,
Rashard Lewis,
and one of my favorite niche borderline stars of the 2000s, 2009 Danny Granger.
Like I said, I ain't gonna argue the
I
metrics,
wanted to
man.
take a look at one of the most polarizing
Ooh, I
stars
want to see
in
what
the
they get
league
12. I
today.
think they're gonna
A
give it like
player with
Derrick
a game
Rose, like the
reminiscent
OG
of some of
Rose.
our favorites from the past. Ja Morant. When I watch Ja play, I can't help but to
I
see a
can't-
lot
yeah,
of
that's
young
what I'm
Derrick
saying.
Rose and Russell
I feel
Westbrook.
like they're
It's
gonna
the
give
obvious
another
comp,
comparison,
the
though,
springy,
like a
fast
soccer
twitch guard who can get to the rim whenever he wants while keeping his elite play.
I ain't watched the Lakers game yet. This gonna be before.
What are the
I
numbers
really
say?
hope we win
Well,
that shit.
according to the similarity app, the closest player to
Got Kobe.
present-day Ja Morant
Brandon
is
Roy, I ain't
actually
gonna hold you.
a
Steve
score
Francis?
of 83%.
Really?
Both Morant
I don't
and
know about
Francis have
I
questionable
love the Mamba right here. I love the Mamba. They got Brandon Roy. Tyree Evans was like that. I ain't even gonna hold you.
selection and are
And
quite
Ramon
limited
Session,
as stars in their
he was alright.
specific role on offense, but they make up for
Relative
it by
3
being
point. Okay, for Ja, I'm gonna actually read all this shit. Shooting quality. I think Ja's a better shooter, relatively true shooter. I think Ja's a better shooter. No pun intended. Damn. Fuck, I ain't not mean to do that.
specific role.
I ain't mean to do that.
Is on their heels by
That's my
getting to
nigga
the
though,
line
man.
at an
12.
incredible rate despite their size.
Low. What does low mean? I
Excellent
don't know what that
rebounders
shit mean.
and among the best at carrying an offense and creating open
defensive
looks for their
rebounding?
teammates. Of all the comps I've heard for Ja
Block.
Morant, a
Oh,
young
whoa. Block should be definitely Ja. Come on, man. We gotta be.
Steve
We
Francis
gotta. You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
came up once or twice, but it's a great comparison. And the numbers
Nah,
would
bro.
agree. The next most
Like I said, I ain't gonna argue the metrics, but we all know who the better player
2002
is.
Kobe,
No cap.
2008 Brandon Roy, and 2010 Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek
Now,
Evans was
thinking
like
of
that, bro.
comps
I ain't
for
even
this
gonna
next
hold
player
you.
has always
KD?
been a tough task,
I don't know who they gonna
since he
get,
has
KD.
been truly a unicorn of a talent for the last decade and a half. and that's Kevin Durant. When he rose to stardom 15 years ago, there wasn't a single player like him. Fast forward, and to this day, there still isn't a single player quite like him. But if we are looking for size and an incredible shooting touch and elite offensive versatility, specifically akin to this older, more efficient version of Durant that we see today, then look no further than 2010 Dirk Nowitzki, who revolutionized the power forward position with his shot making.
Like I said, I ain't gonna argue the metrics. I ain't gonna hold you. I could see it though.
Kevin Durant. And across the board, Durant and
I guess it's kind of like a score though, so I'm not really gonna trip on it too much.
And defensive metrics. The main difference
I like how they put
Durant's
the years and everything
shooting
too.
efficiency and the fact that he handles the rock a bit more than Dirk did, which leads to a higher turnover percentage. But outside of that, they're a match.
Nah, that makes
Big
sense.
guys who can score on all three levels at an all-time rate, possess guard-like skills to be the centerpiece of an offense while maintaining the integrity of their 7-foot frame with rebounding and switchability. The next most similar players are 2011 Paul Pierce, 1987
I was looking at that. Did they put Grant Hill too?
1989 Tom Chambers.
I'll be real, what can't know who that is. Tom
We have a player
Chambers.
that has spent his entire career getting compared to a guy who plays nothing like him. In terms of success and greatness, LeBron and Jordan are
we don't want to start this now.
But in terms of play style and on-court metrics, they aren't very similar at all. One is a jack of all trades with playmaking instincts. The other is a two-way pure scorer. To find the most similar player to current-day LeBron, we have to look for size and passing in an all-around scoring package, which according to the
who they gonna get? Bryant.
Is 1988 Larry Bird.
Damn, no, they did say Bird. Okay, I just
84%.
I don't know.
Now, looking at prime Bird's metrics, you would think I made a
Did they
mistake on this graphic, but I didn't.
Ooh,
He was
Rasheed
just that
Wallace?
good. Virtually no
Vince
weaknesses
Carter.
in his game, reaching
I might be tweaking like this whole video. I might be thinking of the wrong shit. But like this is similar to the closest similar player we can get to the player. That's what I'm trying to. Okay, all right. I think I was kind of confused the whole video. It is what it is though.
All players in the league in the majority of these metrics. And although current-day LeBron isn't quite on this level, a 38-year-old LeBron remains one of the league's premier do-it-all players. The metrics suggest Bird was more efficient offensively with a low turnover rate and league-topping shot quality. But it's their offensive bandwidth, playmaking and passing excellence, and overall malleability.
It's kind of similar though.
And Bird find their real value. The next most similar players to current-day LeBron
it's kind
are
of similar,
1996 Tony Kukoc,
I'm gonna be real.
2001 Rasheed Wallace,
You gotta do a little bit of back kind of research on these metrics.
Version of LeBron
I ain't gonna say too much
this
though.
version of LeBron are seemingly two different kinds of players. So what
of course,
happens
bro
if
is young.
instead of plugging older LeBron into this similarity app, we search for the most similar players to a young LeBron? Well, our results change drastically. The most similar player to a
so they did. This ain't gonna lie. No, Cal. This glazing fuck, man. Come on, we ain't do the young. We do no other younger players. Come on, man.
1992 Scottie Pippen with a similarity score of 87%. An elite defender with the size of a forward, the playmaking skills of a point guard, and the athleticism to get to the rim anytime and put pressure on the defense from anywhere on the court. The next most similar players to a young LeBron are 1997 Grant Hill,
I could definitely see it though.
2002 Tracy McGrady, and 1992 Clyde Drexler.
Bro. Come on, man. We ain't do no other players that was younger, man. Like. Kind of think that's a little bit of glaziness, man.
8 players and 9 of their most similar comps throughout NBA history,
according
to the numbers.
So these are comparisons. I kind of got it wrong a little bit.
The process is that some players of the past came up time and time again. Players like Dirk, McGrady, Grant Hill, KG were found to have a lot in common with many of the stars in today's league, confirming what we've all thought for years. These guys had the tools and the skills way ahead of their time and had a play style that not only thrived in their era, but would thrive today as well. McGrady had metrics similar to Luka, LeBron, Tatum, and even some other guys I ran through the app like Anthony Edwards. Dirk and KG were similar to nearly every star big I ran through the app, like Jokic, Embiid, AD, and Giannis. These guys excelled in a much different league 15, 20 years ago, and the metrics and similar scores suggest they have become the blueprint for most dominant big men in today's league. A testament to the path these two paved and just how much they changed the game. So there it is. What do y'all think? Are these comparisons
I rock with it.
Or do the metrics need some adjusting? Let me know your thoughts.
I feel like some of them maybe need some adjusting, but I mean, this is kind of the most accurate you can get. You know what I'm saying? For similarities, players that are similar to these guys. You know, It's kind of hard to replicate on those.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
Until next time.
I ain't gonna question the metrics though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna question the shit. Y'all let me know how I feel about that. Don't know, Cap. Shout out to JxmyHighRoller. Appreciate y'all in the road 10K. I gotta go watch this Grizzlies Laker game. You know, Cap, man. I'm out.